Hello everyone, welcome to the video, and today we're going to be talking about, without a doubt, the best bunny builds in the game. This build is doing a lot more damage than the other bunny builds, it has great survivability, it's just overall the best in the game. And I have a couple ways of proving that, one of those being some of the clips on screen right now. You can just see how efficient it actually is at farming. And I even include a clip at the end of the video where I killed a hard Devourer without ever shooting him in less than 2 minutes. I think it was like 1 minute and 43 seconds, which is faster than some of the other bunny builds can even kill him while shooting him. I do it with Bunny's abilities, she's known for being not a great bosser, but the build that I'm going to be showing you guys, it makes her a really, really good bosser. So if you guys enjoyed this video or found it helpful, make sure to drop a sub on the channel. I'll be making a lot of First Descendant content going forward, and as well as a like on the video. It helps push it out, and it means a lot to me, and I would really, really appreciate it. I talk about 3 different builds in this video. One, which you're seeing on screen, which is the speed farming one, very end game. And then I have the boss killing one, and the final one is kind of like a leveling one if you don't have Bionic Fuel, because for Bionic Fuel you need to kill hard Frostwalker to get it, and I think I farmed him like 50 sometimes before I even got it, so it might take a while to get that. So the first build we're going to be talking about is the main farming build. This is the best farming build in the game, and we're just showing the damage on screen right now. On a crit for each pulse, it is 757,000. If the electrocute damage were to crit as well, that's another 190,000. So we're potentially looking at close to 1,000,000 per pulse on a farming build that has 10,000 health. The regular pulses are about 208,000, and the electrocute damage without a crit is 55. So without a crit, you're looking at about 250,000 per pulse. So now we're going to get into the modules of the builds, and as you can see, we're using Bionic Fuel. Bionic Fuel decreases your speed of light, but consumes HP instead of MP. We are going to really capitalize on the fact that we don't need MP for this build. We're also using long distance maneuvering. This is best in slot. The fact that you can get more hook range is just very valuable for speed. We then have MP conversion. This is where we start to take advantage of the MP. This is going to give us max cooldown. We don't have this maxed out because we don't need it maxed out. We then have maximize conservation. This will reduce our skill cost by a lot, and it reduces our skill power modifier, but we get that back later on in the builds. We then have frontlines. Frontlines just gives us critical hit damage and skill critical hit rate. It's just good because we want to be critting as much as possible. Then we have HP collector. This is going to be our main sustain for the builds, because we want ways other than collecting the health orbs to stay alive. We then have focus on electric. This is going to round out our cooldown to make it the maximum that we need, and obviously it gives us electric skill power, which is very good. We then have skill concentration. This just gives us even more critical hit damage, and this is actually the module that you're going to be able to swap out if you want to opt for other things, which we'll talk about in a little bit. We then have skill expansion. I know a lot of other builds go really hard on range, but you kind of don't really need much more range than that, so that's all we have. Then we have skill simplification. This increases our skill power modifier by a crazy 84%, reduces our max MP, but we don't use MP at all, so it just does not matter one bit. Then we have stim accelerant. This is going to increase our HP by 234%, and again, reduces our max MP. Our total MP is like minus 51%, and if I can get it lower, I would, because you just don't need it. You don't use it with Bionic Fuel, and I haven't seen a lot of people taking advantage of this as much as you can be. As you can see, 19.9 second on the cooldown, and the duration is 20 seconds, so we're really min-maxing that to make it as close to it as possible without overspending on points. These are the stats of the build. We have 10,000 defense and 10,000 health. This might not seem like a lot, but it's enough for you to survive. I found that for the last slot that I needed to catalyze was this one, and I had a decision between getting more defense or getting critical hit damage, and I honestly found that I wasn't really dying a whole lot, and if I'm not dying, then why would I need even more defense? However, it certainly is an option, and we'll take it out right here just to prove the point. We'll take out skill expansion as well, because I need enough space to put this on. But obviously, if you did go for the defensive option, you would just, instead of the polarity for the critical hit damage, you would just change it to the, I think it's rutile or whatever it is, but you just go on the defensive one. This one specifically, it's going to give us 160% more defense. And then as you can see, we have 10,000 health and a crazy 26,000 defense, and you would probably just never die. I think it's unnecessary, but, you know, if you guys want more defense, it's always there. Then for our reactor, we have the Tingling Singularity Reactor, Thunder Cage mounting. We are using the Thunder Cage. You want something that boosts electric and singular. For the substats, Skill critical hit rate, skill critical hit damage, and skill range are going to be the big three. I got a trashy one as a second. It's whatever. You'll also notice about my external components, I'm not using any sets because we have so much damage from our modules that I just wanted to make sure that I had enough survivability, and we get that from our modules. First one, auxiliary power, you want a defensive or HP roll, and then for the substat, you want a HP roll. For our sensor, we have max HP, and for the substats, not that good, so we just have HP recovery modifier. For our fridge, we have max shield, defense, and electric resistance. Ideally, you'd want HP or defense instead of shields, but this is just what I have, and it has a gold defense, so I guess it's not bad. And I can't get it for another 6 days, so we're just stuck with that for a minute. And then for our processor, max HP, max shield, toxin resistance. There's not really many good substats for that one. But that concludes the build. Now we're going to just quickly show my Thunder Cage. My Thunder Cage is not that good. It only has 417k DPS. This could be min-maxed way better than this. But overall, this is a bunny build. It's not a Thunder Cage build. So I don't feel like going in, killing the Devourer with my Thunder Cage, doing literally everything. That doesn't really show how good the bunny build is, because you're just using your Thunder Cage. And that's why I killed him at the end with just abilities. And so now we're moving on to the build that I was able to do that with. But now we're going to quickly show the damage on this build. And as you can see, 350k per tick, not including the electrocute. If you added the electrocute damage, we're looking at about 430,000, 440,000. And on the critical hits, if you were to hit both the electrocute critical and the pulse critical, you would be looking at about 1.5 to 1.6 million per tick, because the electrocute crit is 300k and the pulse crit is like 1.37 million or 1.28 million. It's somewhere in that range, depending on if one of our modules is procced. But the damage is second to none. This is easily the best bossing builds in the entire game. And so now we're just going to be looking at the modules that are required to make this build work. So this is a build that requires Ultimate Bunny because you need high voltage. You need high voltage to make your damage do as much as it is in the video. However, it's not 100% necessary. If you don't have Ultimate Bunny, don't sweat it. We then have time distribution. This is just for our cooldown and max HP. We want to be as tanky as possible. Then we have skill simplification. This is giving us more power modifier. We need that. We don't need a lot of MP because we're not running around. We have front lines, focus on electric. Then we have skill concentration, increased defense, walk a tightrope, and this is going to give us more skill power modifier and firearm attack when we're less than 50% HP. And even when you're less than 50% HP with this build, you are still totally fine. This build has so much defense, so much health, that you are pretty much never going to die. We then have Stim Accelerant. This gives us even more health. And ideally, if you wanted this to be min-maxed, you would reduce the cost of high voltage, add another catalyst spot for spear and shields, and then you'd be able to max out spear and shields, and that would be the full build. I don't really want to do that, because that would probably bring us to like over 30,000 defense, which it just doesn't seem necessary with how hard we've already scaled it. But here are the stats of the build. We have 28,900 defense and 11,600 health. Absolutely insane. You're really never going to die on this build. Even in the clip where I show myself killing the hard Devourer, I kill him, and like there's no point in that fight where I was ever in danger of dying. I probably could have tanked literally every one of his abilities and stood in his poison and still killed him before he was able to kill me. Then for the final builds, which is the one where we don't use bionic fuel. This is if you're leveling Bunny or you just haven't gotten far enough in the game. We're using long distance maneuvering. Obviously, this is what we're using for everything. We're using long distance maneuvering, and honestly, we're using a lot of the same stuff that we used in the other builds. So you really don't need to worry about it that much. The only difference is we have MP collector. This is how we're going to sustain our MP since we actually need it in this build. And then I'll take off the HP one just because this is more likely to be what you're looking at if you don't have as many catalyst spots as me. And then skill expansion is the last one. But that's literally all of my bunny builds, and each one of them are the best of their kind. The farming build is the best farming build. There is not one better. But essentially, all of these are the best you're going to get for bunny. And now I'm just going to show you guys that Devourer clip. And we're going to kill a Devourer just for the fun of it. I won't shoot him. As you can see, like right off the bat, the MP is terrible. It's awful, but you don't need to be sprinting that much, so you know, I don't really worry about it too much. I'm not going to shoot him. My time wouldn't even be as good as some of the other builds from shooting him because, again, my Thunder Gauge is not that good. But I'm just going to use abilities on him. And I'm going to kill him without shooting him at all. I'll even get my jump step thing in there. I will shoot these guys. Can't be having them running around. Down goes the shield. He goes down. As you can see, like, the damage is crazy. Bunny is known for being like one of the worst bossers in the game. Crazy damage. I will shoot his things, however, because I need those to die. Otherwise, this boss fight would take a year. Kill the second one. Oh my god, dude. The damage is just, it even surprises me. Alright, that's down. We're gonna try to kill these guys too. So as you can see, like, I am not scared of dying. I'm not worried about dying. There's pretty much no chance that I could die. I'll literally face tank one of his attacks and stand in the poison, and it's just not gonna do shit to me. The build is crazy. I would like it to do more damage. Oh, look at that. That's a big crit. Yeah, so just like that, we're about to kill the Devourer without ever shooting him. And yeah, this is why this is the best bunny builds in the game. Without a doubt. Oh, he shit on me. Come on. Alright, he's dead. And that's it. I killed the Devourer without shooting him. The hard mode Devourer. Let's see the stats. Grab this. Alright, let's see the stats. Let's see how long it took me to kill him. 1 minute and 43 seconds. Sub 2 minute Devourer kill. But that's pretty much it for me today. So if you guys found this video helpful, or you want to see more First Descendant content, I plan on making a lot more in the future. So definitely stick around if you're interested in that. I might either do a Freyna build or a Valby build, maybe Glay. I don't know, Glay's kind of popular right now. I kind of want to do Viessa just because I feel like she has a lot of potential, but again, that's it for me. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.